podcast from Chicago Parent Magazine. I'm your host, Hillary Bird.
Hi, we're talking food today with a couple of moms on our parent panel. First, we've got Dr. Kiarra King, who is an OBGYN in the Chicagoland area and a mom of a 3-year-old.
Yes, hey, thanks for having me.
And Jenny LeFlore, the mama behind Mama Fresh. She's a mom of a 23-month-old, and she lives on the south side of Chicago in historic Bronzeville.
Hey, Mama, hey.
So what I love about what you do with Mama Fresh is you talk a lot about exploring Chicago, exploring your own neighborhoods through food. That's so fascinating.
Food is something that brings us all together. And we are lucky enough to live in Chicago, which is the city of neighborhoods. Literally, every neighborhood has such a strong identity, and you can find and it doesn't have to be the most fanciest food. It doesn't have to be a white tablecloth service. It could be a walk-up counter. It could be like the local corner store where a guy's had the same restaurant for 20 years, and you can explore. You kind of take a field trip around the country, around the world, just right through the city.
What kinds of things can the average parent do when they're introducing foods to their kids? And how old have you seen some kids, or how young, I guess, have you seen some kids, starting some of these neighborhood adventures?
The first, I started my son as soon as we were introducing solid foods. One of the huge things that we have in our city that I would say take advantage of are farmers markets. And our farmers markets run throughout the year, not only just in the summer, but then there's also a fall season of markets where you get all different type of vegetables. That's where your pumpkins come in, and your apples and things of that nature, beautiful flowers. And there's the big ones that we all know of, but there's also these smaller neighborhoods that I like them. They're tucked underneath the train track here, it's all over there. And it's great to get local food. You get to meet farmers who grew your food. And I always remember using it for my son, like a live flashcard. So this is a zucchini. Z is for zucchini, and then you are making your, I even made, I was an overachiever, and I made flashcards of some of the vegetables that we would see at the farmer's market. But that's just a great way to start with eating local, eating fresh, and having them being a part of it. After that, I love going to parts of the city like a Greek town. And just starting there, everyone has kids menus, and they have something. What do they feed in their kids? Or I have my son, he's 2. Can you all fix a little plate? And they're like, no problem. A scoop of this rice, a little bit of this meat, and then we'll do some steamed vegetables. So I like going there. I live on the south side. I live in Hart Park. I love having soul food. We have a lot of African restaurants. Yasa is right on King Drive. So I love that we can go all around the country just right in our own neighborhood.
Oh, that's so cool. And Kiarra, you are a vegetarian, and your daughter's meals are mostly plant-based. Do you find that you're doing a lot of the same things in sort of invading farmers markets and in how you're teaching her about?
We do a lot of different exploring, but we also do, I have her help make things at home. So one of her favorite things to make is pancakes. She knows exactly what to do. If we're making pancakes, she goes and gets her step stool. She brings it next to mommy. She knows not to stand too close to the stove because if the griddle's getting hot, but she loves it. And it's let me. She wants to put in the baking powder and there's no eggs in there, there's no dairy, but she wants to be involved. And I think it's so important, again, in how we shape how our kids see food, actively preparing home-cooked meals. And they may not all be home-cooked, but just see, okay, this can be done. This batter takes 2-3 minutes to put together, and then at the end of it, we get to enjoy it, and we get to drizzle syrup on it. We actually do a couple things as a family with all my sisters, cousins, and our kids, and we go out to the apple orchard, especially in the fall. So I think that's also a great way to explore. There's none really in the city. You may have to go to one of the suburbs. We go to one that's in Indiana, but that's another way they can go out and pick their food. And usually when we go, I get apples. We make applesauce at home. Yeah, so really just letting them have that experience. And like you said, food brings us all together. So it's me and my sisters and two of our close cousins, and then all of our kids. When I tell you they have a ball, and it's centered around food. It's centered around getting out there, exploring. They have a corn maze there, so they're getting to go through, and we're looking at the corn like, oh, what kind of corn is this? So it's learning the environment that we're in as we explore food, and then we get to bring it home and make it. And it creates so much bonding and such a special time for family that those kids and us, we're going to remember for years and years to come.
Do you find that when your kids can see food in its raw form, like you said, apples, and right at the farmer's market, they have more of an attachment to it and they understand it a little bit more, that, like you said, being able to make a pancake, being able to make that applesauce, that they appreciate it a little bit more?
I think so. Kai's only 3 right now, so I can't quite quantify her sense of appreciation. I know she enjoys it, and I know she thinks it tastes good. So I guess that would be appreciation from a 3-year-old perspective. But even like Jen said, using it as teaching points. When we are in the store, Kai is pointing out everything. Mommy, there's an avocado. Yeah. There's a pepper. There's a yellow pepper and a red pepper. So it's not only what we eat. They're learning colors. She's learning to count. There's 2 grapes over there, or whatever it is. So I think we can use it as a sensory experience as well as nutrition. And I think they can appreciate learning that way from food.
My son is very proud of anything he makes. And that is from artwork to food. And so when he makes some art, he'll say, Obi made that. Obi made it. And so same thing goes for food. If there's something where he had any type of hand in, then he knows when it's on his plate, and he'll say, Obi made that. And he's very proud. So seeing the stages that it goes through and him having an invested hand in it definitely makes him appreciate the finished product more.
Now, he's a little bit younger. Was it hard getting him into the cooking process and the food making process, or was that pretty easy?
It was our reality. So like so many other parents, I was fixing, whether it's the mama that's working later or the daddy that's working later. My husband and I both traveled immensely when I was still working outside of the home and not on my brand. And so it was often, time did not allot the time for me to have him down and then me cook this lovely dinner. So I said, we're going to start doing this together. What can you help? I always say he's like my little partner. So I have to tell him, you have to help mama. What can, so I have to find things in my head that I can have him pitch in and help doing. And we've done this since, he's not even 2 yet. So we've been doing this for months, having him be a part of it. And even if it's just something small as him throwing things away in the garbage. It gives him autonomy, fires up the independence he naturally has, instead of me fighting his toddler independence. I'm just giving planning to it and giving him something to do. And it now has become something that's so routine that now he expects it. My husband tried to make eggs for him last Saturday, and he tried to make it. He said, sit down, Daddy's making you eggs. And he says, no, I beat eggs, because he stirs eggs. And so you have to give yourself a little time. It makes taste better. So you just have to allow yourself the space and the time to do that when you're not in a hurry. But yeah, he loves it.
Was it immediately stressful when you started to let your kids have a hand in the making process? Because, our girls, we have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and we, with the 3-year-old especially, I let her help when we're trying to make sweets and stuff, like cupcakes and things like that. And her immediate reaction is to just take the butter out of the batter and eat it, which is fun. But and then I'm mentally thinking to myself, okay, I need to either add more butter or wait to see what happens when it rises. Right. But, so in my head, I'm mentally remembering, okay, don't get too stressed out if she eats 3/4 of it before it gets, into a cupcake tin.
I want to eat 3/4 of that cupcake batter.
I know, I love the batter.
That's an issue. I think it's immediate stressful because the one thing that we all don't have enough of, and that's time.
Sure.
So it might take double the time to do something because you're offering. So sometimes you can and sometimes you can't, and that's okay. But the times that you can have them help in a task, it pays off. I think so. And think how funny it is with the pancake or the cupcake batter, like
all over.
So, until you have to clean it up. my son one time pulled down. I had the storage container of cereals. I was gonna buy cereal in bulk. Okay,
I just saw that picture the other day.
I was a smart mama. Okay, so I was going to my local big box. I was buying it in bulk, putting it in the storage container, and then I put it up. He climbed. This was when he was younger, and pulled the entire. So there were little O's everywhere. Not enough, because he would be topped. Got down in it. Snow ain't, because I was like, oh my word, I can't believe you fell in. Let me go and get the broom. I left to get the broom, and he was down making a snow angel in the cereal. You know, at that point, you're just giving to the man.
Right.
Girl,
You just have to laugh at it.
I took a picture. I sat down. I'm going to have to sweep it up when it's over anyway. And you know what people call this? Sensory play. And that's what I let him do.
He was creating it for himself.
He eat a few of them. You know what? His immune system is pretty strong. So it was fine.
It'll strengthen it a little
Yeah,
bit.
Yes,
I don't
exactly.
I give myself a lot of forgiveness. And so that was one of those. That was one of the times, though.
That's good. Are you finding that too, Kiarra, with your daughter, that when she wants to help, do you make sure you're looking at the clock and make sure you're making the time to make sure she has time to help?
You know what? For the most part, when we are making things, I have the time, which is good. I'm so grateful for that. So it's not usually we're in like a time crunch where we're like, ooh, we gotta hurry up and get this done because we gotta hurry up and eat. Like especially Saturday mornings are usually when we make pancakes. Not every Saturday morning, but that's usually the time when we make them. So it's usually kind of a lazy morning already. And so we have time to kind of get over. And she's kind of at the point she kind of knows what to do now. When she first started, I kind of have to be like, okay, pour it in the bowl, not all on the counter, because otherwise, I don't know, like you said, we're going to see how it turns out with half the flour missing. or we're going to make sure it gets all in. But now, she's really good. She likes to make her own oatmeal. She's big on stirring things and mixing things up. So, with caution, making sure she's not too close to the stove, she kind of has it down in terms of knowing what she can do. Like I said, she goes and gets her step stool. She brings it where it needs to go. And she gets into it, but it's not a source of anxiety because she kind of knows what to expect, and I kind of know what she's expecting to experience. And so I kind of just like anticipate, okay, I know she's going to want to put the sugar in. I know she's going to want to, sprinkle the salt. So, we kind of get it together so it can all kind of work, But of course, you have times where half of it ends up on the counter and it's like, okay, you want to play in this? She likes to play, like, make like little designs. And like you said, one of those things, if before having her, I'd be like, okay, let me hurry up and clean this up. Let me make sure the counter. And now it's just like, it is what it is. It'll get cleaned up. And I think as a parent, I think if you go into just parenthood in general, like with that mindset of give myself some grace, it's going to be okay. Like, nothing is the end of the world. Like, it makes everything so much easier, and especially when food and gigantic messes are involved, because we have to have the tendency to just want to make sure everything is like all right and okay, but it's gonna be okay.
Patience. Food, for better or for worse, teaches us patience.
Yes. Whether it's baking cupcakes or waiting for them.
That's so true.
The instant, sometimes you don't have that instant gratification. We have to wait. Is it ready yet? And we use timers in our house a lot. We have one of those smart homes. We have the Echo, the Alexa.
Oh, sure.
Most people say we talk to Alexa all the time. She's like another member of my family. And so we use we tell Alexa, set the timer for 15 minutes. And so when she goes off, the ding, the ring, wow, and so that's it. So it's exciting. Gratification. It makes it exciting.
Oh, that's real. So, do you use Alexa for recipes and stuff like that? Will she dictate recipes to you?
I'm sure she has a capability if I were able to find it. I don't, I am here for recipes. I would love to use a 1/4 teaspoon of fish sauce and a half a quart of you know what, I'm trying to feed my family in an efficient way that's tasty and great. So I have things that we love, and I have components that I want to know, and you're just tasting and you're seasoning and tasting, and you're just going as you
That's
can.
How I cook. Yeah. It is. I mean, certain things, something you're baking, you have to have a recipe, or all the ratios are going to be off and nothing's going to rise.
Of course,
something's
which
gonna
is
be
why
flat.
I'm not a good baker.
Yeah. I would say I love baking, but making, like I said, I think I was mentioning making curry, And it's not a recipe I use. I just kind of throw some stuff in that I know is going to taste good. And that's how it ends up. I make every green beans, black eyed peas. I don't make from any particular recipe. I
like a list of ingredients that I'm inspired by. Right. But right now I don't know where all the measuring cups are in my house. I know where because I had to make something and ask for a half a cup. So I had to use the fourth of the cup twice. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then another one was like half. So I'm like, that's probably 3/4. So I know where 2 out of probably 6 of them. And I did get the ones that snap together before anyone tells me that. But I think that there might be in my son's toy. They look a lot like other toy cups. So I'm not going to be bogged down.
As long as you have the fourth and the third a cup, you're pretty much good. You can make anything happen out of those.
Yeah, so a recipe is just inspiration. I don't always have all those fancy things in my house. You know, the ingredient list. Right. But you just figure it out. What's kind of like it, sort of. And, you work with what you have. Parenting is all improv.
I appreciate, too, my kids, for whatever reason, wherever we go, are attracted to the cabinets in somebody's kitchen. And they're constantly pulling things out.
Yes.
And no, of course, the world's most interesting things are in people's kitchen cabinets. But I am the same way with our measuring cups. I don't know where they all are, and I found one the other day in the closet. But I somehow ended up in there. Good guess to anyone how, but because they've pulled everything out and you're just throwing things back in. You're just like, okay, wherever.
I'm trying to have my Tupperware over here and my pots over there.
Tupperware.
That's the end of our organization. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Right.
That is it.
You're like, that's about as far as it goes.
Tupperware is phenomenal for kids, and the end
all the lids.
If we can't find lids, I'm pretty sure most of them are in the toy box.
Definitely one of our best bath toys was a plastic pasta strainer. The cord. Oh, he loved it because you just pull it out and the water comes out in holes. Why fight it?
Right.
Buy another plastic pasta strainer.
Well, also that's why they made dishwashers.
Yes, just throw it. Oh, absolutely. I don't buy bath toys I can't put in the dishwasher anymore.
Right.
No.
Oh, exactly. Oh my goodness, bath toys. That is definitely a half-hour long podcast.
I was going to say, welcome back as we talk about bath toys.
Improv. We could definitely go further on that. Now, I'm going to go back just a little bit to exploring Chicago. What are some of your favorite kid spots that you've taken your kids? And I'm sure they're going to love a little shout out, but that you've taken your kids that they have just adored.
Anytime you do anything in my house, any special treat, any first day, last day, great report back, scary day, you made it through, you get an ice cream cone. Nice. Not any ice cream cone now. Original rainbow ice cream. Have you been here?
Oh my goodness, yes.
You have to go, y'all. This is a place to go, and it is a treat for them and it's a treat for you, and it is colorful and it is Instagram friendly, and you're gonna kill it on Facebook with all your likes and that beautiful ice cream cone. But I love it, and I love supporting a small business, and this is Chicago, so I love good pizza. I love exploring just the different pizzas in different neighborhoods. We go to Connie's in Bridgeport a lot because there's so much space for kids to go around, and there's wheels and gears, contraptions all through the restaurant. And so my son likes to count the circles. He likes to count the gear. Also, Roots Handmade Pizza gives you dough to play with. The kids, they call it Play-Doh.
Fantastic.
And it's real Play-Doh.
And it's real dough. So we love that. I love Warm Belly. This is like my shout out portion. Warm Belly Bakery. Have you been there for cookies?
Not yet.
Okay, so they're cookies, but they're like in mounds, and their shop is so cute, and you're like, oh my gosh, my toddler is gonna tear it up. No, they have a whole little section with little bean chairs and little lucite tables, and books are everywhere. And so your kid can just go and hang out. And we do the same thing at Vanille Pastry. We do macaroon Monday. Yeah, and we go and get macaroons, and it's a beautiful French shop, but they have toys, they have books, and they're ready for your kid to come in and enjoy.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was going to say Vanille, and then I was also going to say Antique Taco in Bridgeport is awesome. First, like you said earlier,
out to them.
Tacos. But they have, for Kai specifically, since she's plant-based, she can grab some black beans, she can grab some guacamole, some chips, and have a good little meal. And they also have a beautiful outdoor patio with a oversized, life-size Connect 4. They have all kinds of fun little things to play with back there for the little ones, and you can kind of sit there, enjoy a meal while your little one plays, and you can keep an eye on them without, they're not going to run out into the street or anything. But it's beautiful. The food tastes great. There's parking, all that kind of good stuff.
A good point about Antique Taco is that I think it's family owned, it's local owned, and it's a husband and wife, and they have 2 little girls. So the thing is that all of these cool hip restaurants that people were opening up a year ago, just like you, they've gotten married, they're having kids,
Right.
they get it, and they're making it a priority because they also don't want to give up being in the city and exploring the city just to stay at home because they have a family now. So they make it so easy. So I'm so glad y'all brought them up.
They have so many kid friendly. You actually did an event there the other day, but they have like food truck night during the week. I've been to that. That was
farmers
amazing.
Markets on Sundays.
Farmers markets. They have the kid market. So they have kid friendly activities, and I've brought Kai to several events there, and she's trying to get away with me because there's so many things that she can do, and I'm like, but wait, mommy's over here trying to get her cupcake from the food truck, and she's like, I don't care what you're talking about, I'm over here trying to play with this toy. But they have a lot of kid friendly events, and they just have good food outside of all of that
that's what you want to remember. Gone are the days that it used to be, I feel like, in America where family dining meant a place with a commercial with people wearing suspenders with a lot of pins on them. You know the places that I'm talking about, named after the days of the week. So I felt like that is what family dining used to look like. You would either go fancy cool, you know what I mean? That was when you were single or just married. And then once you had kids, you had to go to this place that was like in the middle of a strip mall, or you had to go to a place, and nothing wrong because we will go to those places. But now there's so many options. There's some of your favorite restaurants, if you go on these kind of off hours or things that are like before the crowd rushing hits, we go to Big Star, which is like one of the like most cool and like seen patios in the city, and I'll go there for lunch with my son. They don't have a kids menu. They're like, anything you see on the menu, you tell us what you want and we can make it for you. Because they're so happy. This is what Chicago is. Chicago's about family and kids.
I appreciate places that are trying to, like keep frozen, nuggets or hot dogs or whatever in case a kid shows up, because you want someplace that is going to open your kids' palate.
Exactly.
And and really say, hey, I want your kids to learn about everything, whether it's tacos or Greek food or whatever. That they don't have to eat hamburgers and hot dogs.
And we don't have to dumb it down for our kids' palates. We all know that with toddlers, all of us have that. They're a lot smarter than they surprise us every day. So we don't have to dumb down and bring everything so low for them. We can just just kind of modify things that are already there, and a lot of people are super willing to do that for you and just modify it for your kid.
Yep, agreed.
That's awesome. Well, if you have a fantastic place that we missed as a shout out, please send us an email to podcast@chicagoparent.com. Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you so much, Kiarra, for visiting us today and joining us on Masters in Parenting.